Welcome. This is Dr. Norman McVea speaking. This is a presentation from iBliss Now, and this presentation is copyrighted by iBliss Now, 2018, all rights reserved. I'm really glad you're here. We're going to cover a lot today, and you're welcome to send this video to your friends or to repost it, but please don't edit it or take it out of context. I want it to work as a holism, because that'll present the entire function A to Z. Okay, so we're in the background off and on. You may hear a psychoactive brook being played. It's an audio track that's energized, but it's in low volume. But you may still experience a mild to medium altered state. And as I'll be showing you various apps and videos and such like that, you may find yourself getting into an altered state, and I just want to let you know about that so you can be open to it. Now, this video, this presentation, and this technology makes no medical claims. If you are sick, please see a competent medical practitioner. This does not come to our office, come around the back door, wink, wink, nod, nod, and I'll show you how to get cured of your condition, because that's not the way it is. I am not a medical doctor. I'm trained as a psychologist, and my work here is with stress reduction, stress relief, altered states, higher states of consciousness, action at a distance, psychotronics, radionics, and I'll define each of these so that you know. Now, what we have here is not radionics, excuse me, but that's the earlier subject it came from. So, let's do some housekeeping here, and then we'll get on with it. So if you're watching this and you feel that you cannot make an agreement to be conscious and to be responsible for all results or lack thereof, or any imagined or real detriment, please stop right now. Okay, this is a self-responsibility process here, energy psychology, and if you can't make the agreement to be responsible for the condition that you're in or anything else that comes out of our work together or comes up, then go ahead and turn off this video and go on to something else. Take a walk maybe. Okay, have some fun, do something else. And if you're watching this video now, you have made an agreement with us, a contractual obligation to be responsible for any and all that comes up, and your personal growth and such like that, and to hold us harmless and waive any blame or responsibility for anything about yourself. This is an educational and entertainment process. And I was trained essentially as a clinical psychologist with a specialty in biofeedback and psychological testing using biofeedback. I used to bill myself as a psychological stress examiner, and I was also trained as that, also trained as a polygrapher, and a psychological stress analyst. The earlier subject, when we're talking about action at a distance, and I'm going to cover A to Z of what we have here, because each product, each service relates to another. And if we only cover one or two, it'll really be out of context. You won't get a holism or get the whole picture. I want you to have the whole picture here. Be really helpful for you in understanding what we have to offer and how to work with it. So this subject, the earlier subject, is called radionics. And I was trained in radionics way back in the 80s, late 70s. And I was a featured presenter at the U.S. Psychotronics Association and Global Sciences and Whole Life Expo. So what is radionics? Radionics is operator dependent. It relies upon the operator and their psychicness and their focus and their intention to cause a distant result to take place with a person or an object. And this also involves, unfortunately, in the past, going into resonance with a sick person. So if, let's say, you're doing radionics as a healing practice that's big in England, and I studied it in England also in the 60s, what you're doing is you're going to resonance with a sick person, sending them a radionic rate or an energetic remedy at a distance. And when you go into resonance with that person, with that ill person, there's a flow back or bounce back on that, and you pick up some of those symptoms. And some of the best healers have died from actually doing this. But the equipment that we took apart, my dad and I, my dad worked for San Francisco Radiological Defense Lab, and he was an engineer, and he really liked this kind of stuff. We took apart about 20 instruments, radionic instruments from England and from the US and such, and They had whirling magnets at the bottom and little diagrams and things, and we measured, we did all sorts of things, and with all of the test equipment my dad had, and all the equipment that we had later when I worked in a quantum physics lab, I guess kind of following in his footsteps, there's no indication, there's no evidence, there's no empirical evidence, there's no anything that says these devices work. It's all operator intention. The devices are essentially, you set it to a setting, that sets your consciousness to a setting, and you as a psychic make that happen. And I lost two close friends of mine, Dr. David Tansley, who wrote a number of books on radionics, and my other friend Lewis. And both of them acquired symptoms from working with people, and eventually it finished them. And radionics is a non-local, it's a distant phenomena. So in other words, you're working at a distance. There's another term called psychotronics, and that's essentially a local phenomena, and it's devices that influence consciousness, and that's what we have. But our devices are not operator dependent, and if they were, I wouldn't offer them, because I would say we're no better than where we started from, because I just won't subject anybody to that. It's just not even thinkable. And I practiced as a radionic practitioner back in the 80s, and I can tell you that I started getting sick. So no, not what we have here today, and not what I want to offer you. Okay, so the earlier company I had was called Oxygen Research Institute. Some of you may know me from this. I built orgone accumulators, Rife beam tubes, the Koski multi-wave oscillators, magnetic rings, radionic and psychotronic equipment. As a matter of fact, you might recognize this device here. This is a Atlantis High Life, a life energy amplifier that I built, and we were the largest psychotronic radionic company in the United States, to my knowledge. We were really out there. We sold thousands of instruments. And we had some that actually worked here, where you could put these above a speaker, and the energy would come down from the speaker, and the speaker would pump it, and the energy would come to you in the sound. It would mix together, produced a really nice altered state. It was extremely phenomenal. I mean, it was a good altered state. But anyway, I wanted to show you, this is where I came from. And that company was very successful, and I went into coherent coaching. And I had done this and performed this quite a bit in the past. I've trained thousands of coaches and therapists. I've taught in a graduate school. And this book here is a combination of EFT, emotional freedom techniques, where you're tapping on the acupoints. Very good process, by the way. And EMDR, where your eyes are going back and forth to stimulate or simulate REM sleep, sound going back and forth in your ears. And what you're doing is you're causing the brain to go into the mode of releasing traumatic cellular memory or negative mental energy. This is what the brain does at night when you're asleep, is REM sleep, and then it dumps the toxins and stresses of the day. So I wanted to show you this here. This is available at Coherent Coaching Institute. Then we went on to the later technology, and this is a book here on energy alchemy that I wrote. And this covers all the technology pretty much that we have at this point. And there are also free download books available on our website at iblissnow.com. But this book here covers what I'm going to be showing you now in a lot more depth and a lot more detail. So anyway, this is available on a download on our site. So some of what we've done as we've moved along, and what we have to offer, is aromatherapy. And here's aromatherapy. And what we have a way of taking aromatherapy, whatever fragrances you like, and energizing them with energies like white powder of gold, ormus, magic mushrooms, all sorts of positive green, life energy, all up and down the list. And it makes these extremely psychoactive. And you can do this at a distance, which I'm going to show you how we do this. So you can energize aromatherapy at a distance and transform it into a very powerful psychoactive. And this is something that's quite amazing. I mean, people will you'll see the success stories and what people have said, but it's not to be underestimated how powerful this is. Now, what else we've done too is we have jewelry. This is doesn't look like it from the front end, but when you open it up, this is a USB key. And what this has is energetic programs in it. And we can put any kind of fields that we have, which are, you know, getting close to 70 or 80, maybe even 100, we can put them in there. This is a 500 gig, some people joke 500 milligrams, but it's 500 gigs of energetic remedy. And so we have some with ecstasy, cocoa leaves, but these are very powerful. I just want to let you know, because we're going to move through this technology here, and I'll show you, and you'll start to get a sense when we compare one to another. There's no batteries in this. There's no plug-in to charge. There's essentially, this is just put it on and wear. And that's what really works good about this. And this is as powerful as some of the systems we've had in the past that we've charged $3,500 for, that were not portable, that you couldn't take with you, and were difficult to move around, required batteries, required battery charging, etc. This requires none of that. It's so simple, and it's such a breakthrough technology. So this is an example here. And also, we have our energetic fields in app form. And this is an example here. This is a Windows phone, and it has an app here, and this app will take essentially any of the music that you're playing through it, and the app will structure any of the MP3s that you're playing to the energy field of that particular app. And that's how that works. And it's quite amazing. I have a jack here I'm showing you, and this jack, you can plug it in, you can play our audios, our energized audios, and no one will hear it. The jack will be in here, the energy field will build up. If you have the actual JPEG app here as well, then what will happen is both of them together will make even a more powerful rendition. So that's a Windows phone. Here's an iPod here, and that's how it works. And the iPod will essentially perform the same function. Here's what the app looks like here. Low battery, go away. And this is what it looks like here. Here's an app, and I've got maybe 25 or 30 apps here of different compounds, herbs, sacred power spots, energized compounds of various kinds. And then when you play those in combination with the MP3s, you get in a real good altered state. Plug the jack in or don't. Let it run the ocean sound, put it in your pocket, and away you go. And you get in a good altered state. So I wanted to show you how that works. And that's not to be underestimated either. It really is not. You can take, I mean, you can listen to your favorite rock, or your, for rock, maybe you want cocoa leaves. For your new age music, maybe you're looking for ecstasy. Maybe you're looking for white powder of gold, etc. Anyway, you'll see a list on our site of the different compounds we offer. Now these this is not just the frequency of magic mushrooms. This is magic mushrooms. It is taking the magic mushrooms and amplifying them by 1 billion times through a super quantum computer, which I'll get to. But that's essentially how it works. We also on our site have a section called Energy Jukebox, and you can experience for free songs, both new age as well as rock, that we've put energy fields to. And you can feel the difference. It becomes live, it becomes bright, it becomes it becomes the way it should be, the way music, I believe, should be. It has a vitality to it. It has a life force to it. It has an expansion of consciousness to it. And you'll see exactly when you have their experiences. So that's called Energy Jukebox on our site. Now I should also mention that the bigger the speakers that you have, the larger the screen, and the higher you turn up the volume, the bigger and better the effect. If you have a very large screen and big JBL, like I have JBL studio monitors, I mean, a whole group will go into an altered state. Some people will think they're channeling, some will have psychic openings, some will have psychological, energy psychology phenomena turn on where they're finding themselves, their consciousness being more coherent. Some will release stress. Very, very powerful. So I wanted to show you that so you know. I'd also like to take this time to thank Scott Borders, who we've been working together for actually over 15 years. And I'd like to thank him for his video production work, his audio production work, his development of energy fields with me, his musicianship, his just ability to be able to bring out the best in what we're doing and to bring out really undreamed of high bliss states. I also want to thank Sharon Hart for her web design and editing and audio video assistance, research, and she's been indispensable the last 15 years. So what's the secret to what we've been able to manifest? I mean, how do we able to get this far, this fast, and have products that work in, I think, extremely user-friendly, dynamic fashions? Well, essentially, it's a super quantum computer. And you'll see these around. They're not 2D computers, they're 3D computers. And you'll see these around, and they mostly crunch numbers. They'll crunch numbers in taking them, you know, a couple hours, where a regular computer will take a couple of maybe weeks or a month. And what we've done with our computer is we're fortunate enough to meet with some physicists who have developed one, and we developed our software. And our software works with energy, so we don't crunch numbers. And what we do is we take an energetic signature. It can be, I mean, this sounds crazy, folks, but it works just this way. You can take a picture from a magazine of a substance. Let's say CBD cannabis, okay, as an example. You can take a picture of it, take it out of a magazine. If it's a real picture of it, not just a dummy mock-up, if it's a real picture, you take our computer, and within about 4 or 5 hours, we can have that amplified distortion-free by a couple billion times. And we can take that and put that into music. We can put it into a picture. We can put that into, as I mentioned, a video. We can put that into a T-shirt, a USB key, aromatherapy, on and on and on. It starts to perform like the real physical sample, like the real physical item. But we make a special formula out of this. And you'll see this when we get to the action at a distance. We make special formulas, and these formulas we think work better than the actual substance. Now, you won't hallucinate. It's not like taking a drug in that respect, but the consciousness part of it is, and what's also part of it is the coherence that you get, the smart pill effect. So these compounds are buffered. So, and what I mean by that is you will not get over your head with them. They are very, very user-friendly. And in the audio system, you increase the strength of the compound by adding more audio or decreasing the audio. That works really good. You want 150 milligrams, crank it up. You want 100 milligrams, crank it down. That's kind of a joke, but some of our customers talk about that and have some laughs with us on that. Send us some very interesting emails. So I wanted to let you know about that. That's essentially what we do. And we're able to do this amplification without distortion. Makes a huge and very big difference. Now let me also show you this here. I showed you the USB key here. Okay, that's this. This is a 1 terabyte drive. That's what this is. And this has about 150 to 200,000 programs on it. All one formula. Let's say white light, or let's say Ormus, or let's say life force, or a sacred geometry. And by the way, we use sacred geometry as part of our formulations because we find that that sacred geometry works very synergistically if you get the right geometry, and we have measuring devices to do that, with the other energy fields that we have. These energy fields come from sacred geometry in a lot of cases, or geometry is added to it because it gives it a certain quality to it, and that quality we find to be really, close to divine, so to speak. So anyway, that's essentially how we work. And we use a carrier wave called ultra white light, which came from the Egyptians and from the French radiesthesists. And we also have found another field or frequency band in the infra or ultra power. Well, it's essentially an ultra infrared, and it's in this particular band, and it does action at a distance also. So I wanted to show you this. Now this drive here, it's light enough you can carry it in your pocket. And why is this cord on it? Because you can plug it into your computer, and when you plug it into your computer, the electricity will flow into it and activate the program still further. And if you hold this in your hand, it'll go, I know numerous therapists have their patients or clients hold this in their hand, particularly white light, because it'll just take stuff away. It's very much like EFT, very much like some of the other technologies, EMDR and such like that. While not being those, it is quite similar in so many ways. And now if you're also running this, let's say one of our apps on your computer, let's say while you're emailing or writing or maybe doing some graphics or God knows playing video poker, you'll find that even if you take the video and reduce it, the audio will be there. and the video will be there still operating, and you'll find that you'll get into a real good altered state. I mean, I do that all the time when I write, because the writing just comes through me. I don't have to effort at it or anything, it just shows up. And that's what I'm interested in, is effortless. That makes the best production, best result. So when I go to rock concerts, I take this with me. I have one for psilocybin, and I like that one a lot for concerts. I also like the magic mushrooms. Really, really good. I mean, and sometimes I'll take one of these and one of coca leaves, and the two together, just a tremendous magical blend. So there's that part of it. I wanted you to see this here, and this is the most powerful psychotronic device I've ever come into contact with. It is, whether you carry it in your pocket or whether you plug it in, either one of those will work just fine. I mean, you'll find yourself amazed at how powerful it is and how well you get into an altered state. And it's so clean too. Okay, so what I'm going to show you now, I'm going to show you now my laptop running the Action at a Distance app. Now we're going into the Action at a Distance section here, and I want to show you this. So this is it. This is white light. This comes from Sedona. I went to Sedona. We mined or farmed the energy that's there with our super quantum computer, and then what we did is we did the amplification 1 billion times, and this is essentially a very powerful Sedona white light that we've put some geometry into it as well. You'll also hear some ocean sound in the back, and you can put the jack that's here that I showed you for this device. You can put that jack into the audio, and it's completely silent. It works completely silent. You can do it with the sound that you hear. You want the volume about 3/4 output. Further, that drives the amp into distortion, so you don't want to do that. But about 3/4 output. Plug the jack into your audio, and it'll be silent. Or let the ocean sound go as you're going, which is fine. And like I say, you might start to get into an altered state here with this. You notice it's a movie, and what it is, it's pulsed energy. And the energy's pulsing like this. If you put this on your computer, this is white light with some other formulations in it that I mentioned for action at a distance. And what will happen is, if you run this on your computer, you'll find yourself having the same kind of results in a lot of respect that the therapists have, and that is, they say it just takes things away. So it just does. And you can listen to this with headphones is fine, or on speakers is fine, or just not even paying attention to it, because what's coming out of here is a magnetic field. So it's not like you have to watch it to get an effect. You don't have to watch it at all. It's a magnetic field that emanates from the computer. In other words, the energy field of the white light is traveling on the ASCII code, so to speak, on the amplifiers, vertical and horizontal in the computer, on the audio amplification circuit, and it's coming out like that. So if you have your back turned to it, no problem, it still works. So that's what it looks like. That is the app for action at a distance. Also, it's psychotronic when you're not setting it up for action at a distance. It's action at a distance when you set it up the way I'm going to show you. So here's your app, and I've got it looped here, so it's continuing to play. I have the sound not up to 3/4 because I don't want to drown out our microphone there and the cameras, but I just want to show it to you this way. Okay, so here it is, and that's for action at a distance program. That's the first thing you get. All right, so now we want to have a trend. This is the carrier. We want to send them something. Okay, and what are we going to send? Well, let's see. Here it comes. Oops, stop that, you bad boy. I want to go back here, and I want to go to here. Okay, now I'll show you next. This is a trend. This trend is magic mushrooms, and this is amplified by 1 billion times. This JPEG has in it codes all throughout. Every pixel that you can find there has got a code embedded into it, an energy field. And I don't mean just like a frequency. This is for magic mushrooms. This is the magic mushroom amplified by 1 billion times and turned into essentially a JPEG or pixels. So now what we have, we're still not really doing action at a distance yet. This is still psychotronic, not action at a distance, because we don't have a target. But this is the trend that we're going to send for our demonstration here. Okay, got magic mushrooms, there's our trend. Okay, you can send more than one trend, so let's do a mixture. This is one of my favorite ones for meditation. I like this a lot. I'm not a very good meditator. I quit meditating more than some people quit smoking cigarettes. But you know what? I'm a really good meditator when I use this. Now I'm going to put this on the screen a little larger than I might normally do it, but this will work fine. This is the fractal for ecstasy. So that's what the ecstasy fractal looks like. Now, if you happen to you don't like the idea of these sacred substances, don't worry. We've got 90-something different formulations. So we have some that are pure life force. We have some that are generated from sacred geometry. We've got, I think, something for just about everybody. We have the energy field of Tibetan Tonkas, the rainbow body, very powerful. We have sacred astrology in some of our programs. We've got a lot of combinations. But here we are. Here's our action at a distance. So that's our trend, but we don't have a target yet. Now, if you're watching this, you are the target. You're receiving it, in camera or video land. But if you have this on your computer at home or your office, let's just say, when you have this, you become the target. You become the link because you're in front of the computer, so the energy goes to you. Now, do you want to have the energy go to another target? I'll show you what I do. All right, now I'm going to show you this bolt. You probably think you've gotten to an auto shop lecture here, or how to lug bolt in your car, tires or rims or something. But why I do this? I've done this demonstration over 100 times. No one's going to fall in love with these things. They're not chrome. They're just kind of ugly from the building supply. Not going to make it as a piece of jewelry. No. But what do you do with this? It's a demonstration. When you take and turn this computer over so that its screen is down, it's laying down flat, and I won't do that now because you can't see it, and you set this bolt on top, you now have a target. See this bolt over here? This is identical. Now what will happen is when you put this target here, and someone holds this bolt here, and you can have 10 of these bolts, have 20 of these. I got probably 30 of these things. Every single person out there by my pool in my altered state garden party is holding the bolt in their left hand, which is input, and you'll feel the bolt come alive with the energy. And it doesn't matter how far away this computer program is from this bolt, because I've sent the energy to all over the world, to Europe, to Asia, South America, Mexico, the U.S. Doesn't make any difference. I've stayed on planet, but I haven't, that's all, I don't know how to get off planet yet like that. So that would be a good test. So you put this in front of it here. They're not going to fall in love with this. It's not gorgeous. So they're not going to go, wow, I really want, and then that wrecks your demo because they're saying, oh, this is so sexy. I got to have this. No, this is not so sexy, and they don't have to have it. But the energy will come to it. Now, if you take this bolt and you cut it in half, it will no longer work because it's shape form. The energy is going to an identical shape form. This is sympathetic magic. This is sympathetic magic. Okay? It goes to identicals. And the life force cannot determine the difference between, real key here, a picture of something and something. So if you take a picture of this bolt and boot the picture up here on your computer, then it will go to all the bolts. Or if you lay the bolt on the computer, it'll go to all the bolts. It's the same thing. It's the very same thing. Welcome. This is part 2. So where we were when the chapter ended, we were talking about these less than wonderfully looking bolts. And if you cut these in half, they will not do. In other words, if you have your 2 bolts, you put one on the screen, and the computer's laying down flat, you put one on the screen, and what happens is, and you take the other, bring it over here, another room, the energy will go right to your target, which is this one here. If you put this bolt here and you cut this bolt, see this one here, cut this, it doesn't work anymore. So we've gone over a little bit, so we're digressing just a little bit, but I want to make sure that we're here on the same realm. If you want the energy to go to your iPod and you put a bolt on the screen, no, not anywhere near similar, not going to work. This plug here, you put this plug on the screen, yes, it'll go to all plugs identical to this, but it won't go to this because they're different. So I want to let you know that. That's really something to be conscious of. If you wanted to go to this aromatherapy bottle, you take a picture of the aromatherapy bottle, put it here, goes to the aromatherapy bottle. Okay? If you're working with a person, you take a picture of their eyes. By taking a picture of their eyes, it will go to them wherever they are. Right here I'm demonstrating Let's see if we got this right here. Yep, we do. Look at this. We got our behind, right behind here, closest to me on the screen is the carrier wave. Next is the trend. That's ecstasy. That's what we're using here as a demo. Next is magic mushrooms trend. I don't have enough hands to do this. So next is the trend, the second trend, trend number 2, magic mushrooms. And on top of that, closest to the camera there, and closest to your viewers, that is the link or the target. So here's my watch here. If I wanted to go to this watch, and by the way, it can work pretty good. You take a picture of the watch, put it on the screen, and the energy will go to the watch no matter where you are. It's just the way it works. So it's shape form, it's identical shape form is what it is. And you need a carrier, class, you need a carrier, you need a trend, you need a target or link. So you have 3 points there that you need. And that is clearly what you need. And you're using the carrier wave of Sedona white light, which comes with our basic system. And this is an introductory system, but this will do essentially one target. You can do 2 trends max, 1 target. Now if the targets are all the same, yes, it'll do all the targets. But they have to be identical. Absolutely identical, so that you know. Okay. Now, I don't know if I mentioned this in the earlier part or not. We've got a cutoff power shortage there, which would stop the camera. So I want to make sure you got this. I'd rather say it twice than not say it at all. Okay, and I should mention here that if you're videotaping or photographing, just even ambiently shooting a picture of your room, and you catch a picture of the screen, it will now start going weird on you. It'll go spooky, as people call it. So, and that's just the way it works. So if you're videotaping or taking still pictures, don't take a picture of this. I'm going to throw this away afterwards. I'm going to delete this because it can't be used. It'll start malfunctioning, it'll produce dirty energy, it'll be weird. Also, if you try to attempt to copy it, and our own copies, when we make them, we have our own technology for that. But if you copy them through regular equipment, you'll start to get dropout and it'll get weird. It'll start to dilute your field. And I can't tell you exactly why all that is, I just tell you that it is. And so just avoid that and you'll be a lot happier. So this is micro-vibratory physics. Now, I don't know if I mentioned this earlier before, I got a power cut here on the camera, but I went around to, I think about 4 different hardware stores. I put this on my computer here. I took the second one with me, I put some paint on it, so that I walked in the store, they wouldn't think I was taking it. I walked in with this thing as a sample, and I went to 4 different hardware stores, about 20-25 miles apart, some of them. And every time I found a bolt this big, exactly this size, the energy field was on all those bolts in the bin. And this was true for the 4 stores. Now, if I were to bend this, let's say I have this on the screen here, and let's say my target is this bolt here, no problem, it'll work. If you were to bend it, you have to be Superman, but if you bend this and turn it into like a U or something, it won't work anymore. The reason why is you've changed shape form, and shape form has to do with identical, so it has to be identical to work. This and this have to be identical. So you get the idea how that goes. That has to be that way to work. If our basic program, you're taking a picture of your eyes and you're putting it on the screen. You're careful not to take a picture of, you're not going to do print screen or photograph it by accident. Okay, otherwise your system's going to go weird. But okay, if you don't do that, it's not going to go weird and that's going to function. And you can put many different targets up as you go through our different levels. And I probably mentioned that I have my motorcycle, and that if, for example, if you take a motorcycle that has a fairing, or like a windshield, and you shoot a picture of it through the fairing, this way and that way, and what will happen is when the light from traffic and stoplights and all the rest, street lights, comes through your fairing, the light will transmute the energy field you've put on your fairing. As I mentioned with my motorcycle, excuse me, I used cocoa leaves, because for a motorcycle you want to be driving around the road being very aware of what's going on and driving defensively and proactively, and that's a good formula for that. If you get the wrong formula, you don't get your result, and you learn after a while what formula is. For my car, white powder of gold works great. I don't suggest you do this. But with my car, I have a picture of the battery, the engine, the seats, the heating elements, the sunroof, all the windows, stereo, speakers. And when I get in that car, and I'm running this program, which has my car on it, let's just say that I got that, then what happens is my car is like you're driving insulated from the world. I mean, it's just a really nice feeling driving alone. It's a feeling of escape. I mean, it's just really, really nice, really wonderful. And you're listening to music. The music has the energy. I don't suggest you do this because you really don't want to jump to something like that. In your first times around, hey, do sunglasses. You know, do cap, t-shirt, pants, shoe soles. All your acupoints are there. A lot of mark comes right through. Do a bracelet. You know, do those, a jacket, a vest. You know, do the pillow that you sleep on. Learn it from the very, very basics. But don't do a car or a motorcycle or a bicycle until you had a chance to get familiar with it and see how it works. I don't accept, you know, any liabilities. So don't do anything that you feel could be liable or could be problematic or dangerous. Don't do your lawnmower, because I know someone that, without even doing their lawnmower, energetically cut their fingers. So don't do your lawnmower. Don't do something that's dangerous. Just do something that's really cool, like shirts and clothing and such like that, and yourself. When you, people have asked me, and I may have mentioned this in the first part, I tried to, but the power might have shut off on me. But a very important thing here is, what's the difference between, people ask me, between this device and, this is psychotronic, not action at a distance, and the action at a distance program. What's the feeling difference? And that's really clear for me, and clear for a lot of other people too. And they'll say, when they run the action at a distance program, their energy field stays clean. It releases negative mental energy. The signal travels through hyperspace, through the ethers, the quantum ethers, goes from transmitter here to receiver, the target, and it's a very clean energy. And it's like a sweep. People define it as a broom. I remember one guy said it was like a, his body was like a sieve, and it was energy all flowing through all these points in his body. And it keeps it, I mean, upsets last a lot less. Stress is a lot less. People will say they're a lot more coherent. They're a lot more focused. They're less reactivated by past. They're more in the moment. They can visualize more cleanly and more clearly. That's what you'll hear essentially. These are all energy psychology results. The same kind of results that people would say with EFT. I love EFT, but I don't do it that much because I use this. So it's very much like EFT, it's very much like EMDR. That's what you'll hear. And you're not having to go into resonance with sick people. I wouldn't sell a program that is a requirement. Just not good. And I just wouldn't do that. I've seen too many people have too many problems. So we're using a quantum supercomputer with this, which I mentioned, and this is how it works. And so I want you to know a few things about the various levels that we have. And as you get more, we have packages of trends that come with our program. And as you work with our program and go through very different, in each level of module, different packages come with it. And you start to be able to do a lot more things. But starting basically is really where you want to start, because that's the place you want to be. You want to get your basics in real solid, because you're learning to entangle. A target, and the system does it for you. As I mentioned, a 6-year-old kid, if they can put up a video, they can put up a JPEG, and they can put up a picture on the computer, that's it. That's all it takes. You don't have to have any kind of psychicness. You don't have to be a medical intuitive. You don't have to be anything. People that, I mean, the program is completely automatic within itself and does not require your good mood, your bad mood, you feeling particularly loving or forgiving at the time. You don't have to be anything. You can be in the worst space possible. It doesn't matter. It's not about you in this one. You hear that in psychology. It's really about the program. The program does the work, and that's why we offer it. Now, as you get along, as I mentioned, if you want to create trends on your own, you can do that. And I will show you how to do that. The advanced levels contain consultations with me, and I'll train you how to do this. I've been doing this for 18 years with this system, and with the other systems back into the 80s and 70s. So I've done a lot of this. I used to work as a radionic practitioner. I've worked in the UK. I've done a lot of distance, quote, energy work. But I stopped it because I started feeling negative effects from it, and that's not worthwhile. But we with our quantum supercomputer can take a chemical diagram or a picture of a compound or a photograph of a compound, even out of a magazine if it's real, you know, not a dummy for a photo shoot, and we can work it up from there. And we put it through our quantum supercomputer, amplifies it by a few billion times, and it pops out the other end being energetic. What we do then is we make an amalgamation or a formulation with it. And when we do that, now we know how to do that well. We check compatibility and everything. And we have something that works really, really well. And so we offer you remedies that work really, really well. Because why? In the beginning, you don't want to start tangling with and getting busy trying to figure these things out, advanced level kinds of things. We want you to get results right away. And that's what you get. So we're showing you how to do action at a distance. And you'd be surprised for the Holy Grail. I mean, there's no photographs of that. And I found some drawings on YouTube. No, they were on Google. And I found ones that had energy to them. I measured them. And then what I did was I did a process with it, amplified those by a few billion times. And yes, I have an aromatherapy that's Holy Grail. And what happens when I use it? I have the strangest experience, and other people report the same thing too, of feeling like they're getting on track intuitively for what they're looking for. Some people have even felt like they found the Holy Grail for them, something that's really, really important that they had overlooked or hadn't realized. I hear that a lot, so it's something that's quite amazing, I think. So anyway, we're taking with this program, we're taking a regular 2D computer and making it a quantum supercomputer that can crunch energy and do energy work, non-local. So that's essentially the software we put together here. So moving right along, it's, I mean, if you were a psychic, a really good psychic, and I have friends of mine that are phenomenal, they put their energy on this, I can hardly feel it. Mostly I can't. I put the energy from this computer on here, boy, can I feel that. So, big difference. Now, I've done this with hundreds of people. Now, you might ask, how well does the action at a distance work? Well, I'll tell you what, go to our website, iblissnow.com, and feel the videos, the energy on the videos there. It's about like that. Only it's different. There's a different, a way more spectacular quality to it, a cleaner quality. And of course, you don't have to keep the screen going in front of you. You can just, go about your business and go action at a distance to you. So it has a way of releasing negative mental energy that I think is phenomenal. So our basic unit here, our introductory unit, one target, two max, or sorry, one target and one trend, but two trends max. It's an introductory system, and you can do jewelry pieces, shirts, objects, essential oils, caps, shoe soles, etc. Now, when you go on to level 1, this is the next module up. Level 1 is processing many targets simultaneously. Now you can do more than one target, and each target can have a particular specific trend. So you're going now to the point where you could do a cap, sunglasses, t-shirt, shoe soles, pants, jacket, jewelry, and if you do that all of the same trend, they'll all talk to each other and create a cocoon of energy. Really, really nice feeling. Or if you have 10 different products and you want coca leaves on jewelry, you want white powder of gold on a t-shirt, you want on shoe soles, you want positive green, and then, like that, you can do that. You can do 10 targets, no problem. 10 targets, each one having a particular and specific trend. Level 3, or actually, sorry, level 2, you're making super links. And what you do is you learn how to create a super entanglement to your link, so that it's like your billion times amplification of the link, and it makes a much better transfer of energetics. So it's becoming way more powerful. In level 3, what you're doing is you're getting a boosted carrier wave, and the carrier wave will propel more trends and work to more targets, and it's boosted. It's really quite good. Level 4, you're learning how to make your own trends, and I show you how to make your own trends and give you software on how to do that. You learn how to potentize products to increase their vitality. And level 5, you're learning how to timeshare with our quantum supercomputer, and we have software that'll help you do that. It goes actually at a distance. It's mind-blowing. And so you're able to transmit to the target. Now, level 6, this is where it gets pure magic. Level 6, you see, all up to this time, you have to keep the program running. You probably want a dedicated computer, not expensive, and you want to do energetics to all these at the same time. Okay? Well, let's see. With this level 6, you can set up the program, and you can turn the computer off. I know you're not. I know I said what I said. I promise it wasn't a slip of the tongue. It's absolutely true. We give you a piece of software that you can use to set up your trends and set up your targets, and I've got hundreds of them all going at the same time with my computer off. So, for example, I have my hot tub motor, my hot tub jets, my pump for the jets. Swimming pool, I've got my pool, I've got my pump, and I've got my pump for the jets. Okay? My sauna, I've got all 6 far infrared heaters in there, and the power box for it, and my stereo system, all energized. And, you know, my pool is cocoa leaves. My hot tub, I don't want that. Hot tub's white powder or gold. Sauna, yeah, I've got a whole blend in there that's really cool. It's a really relaxing violet energy. Really, really nice. A little bit like CBD, actually. And I've got my jackets, I've got my car, I've got my motorcycle, I've got my bicycle helmet, my gloves, my bicycle equipment, all that, you know. I've got my iPods, clothing galore, just all going on. And I've got various aromatherapies that I've made. I've on and on and on. My water, then I have my water in, my water system. And you are really a master of how to operate this. I mean, you've learned how to do this at a real in-depth level. And that's what you can get to. When you turn it off, you can have 150, 200 programs. So if you have a company, for example, that company, you could take with that company and you could do jewelry, which we did for a company, jewelry, t-shirt, cap, yoga pants, shoe soles, more jewelry, aromatherapy, yoga mat, excuse me, on and on and on. You can do all your products. Let's say, for example, and I've done this, let's say you have a company that rents office space. I've had that. They came to me. So what I did is they sent me their office space. They sent me pictures of their office space by email. I also went to Google Earth so I could see it. Took a picture of that, screen save, screen grab. And I set that program up and I energized their buildings, their office spaces, the ones that didn't rent. They rented. They kept me doing this for a long time. I got busy. I didn't have to go down there and see the space and shoot. No, can do it. They sent me the email. They sent me the pictures by email, and Google Earth worked really good on it too. And you can find that kind of a situation. You can take a house that's for sale, for example. I had an agent friend of mine that had a house, couldn't sell it. Great house too, but you know, she said it was haunted. Is what she said. It was haunted and it wouldn't work. Just people went in there and just ran out. One lady ran out right away. So what I did was I took pictures of it. So what do? You take a picture of the house from the front, from all sides of the house, from the top down with Google Earth. Go inside, take a picture of the power box. Then what you do is you take a picture of the water coming in, the gas line coming in. Take pictures of all the corners. Take pictures of each room. You know, you really get some pictures after a while. And what you do is, but they're paying me well, so that's fine. And what I do is I set the program up, run it, turn it off. That's it. I've set the program for 100 years. So for 100 years, that energy is going to be doing that. And the house sold right away, no problem. They even had people that came and wanted to rent it too, which never happened before. So how does that happen? Because you've changed the energy, the feng shui, the energy flow in the house. And that makes a difference. Makes a huge difference. So to let you know, you start to think of some of the creative things that you could be doing. If you do websites, oh my God. If you do websites, you screen grab each picture of the website. If it has audio with it, like our website does, you energize the audio. If there's a video with it, you energize the video. People come to the site, they feel good, their attention's there, they feel coherent, they feel in the moment, they're looking at it, they're not thinking about the past, they're not distracted so much, they're there, they're focused, and they're in a good space. Well, you're going to get most of their attention. I'm not saying they're going to buy the house or buy the product on the site because you did that. What I'm saying is you're getting their attention and you're getting their state of well-being. You're getting them into a useful state, into a state of in the moment, of higher perception. So your chances of making a sale to an informed customer have gone up astronomically because they feel good. And that's what you want, isn't it? That's what all products are, is a person should feel good. Now, if you're doing trainings or seminars or workshops, it's perfect. You shoot the air conditioner, just all the kind of such that I said. The air conditioner, the heater, all that such. Half hour, you got the place all really spiffy and energized, and away you roll. So that's really going the right way there. So you can start to get the idea of what you could do with this. I mean, you could turn this into a major, major business. And no one else can do it. No anybody else's that I know of. I'll put it that way. So that's level 6. You can turn the computer off after you've done the program. All right. Level 7. Okay. You're becoming a master at this. So how to make something, let's say, a carrier, a trend, and a target 1 billion times more powerful. And this requires some additional software modules, not difficult to operate. Takes a few days to get proficient with it, like it would the earlier one. And what happens is you can make a very, very powerful link, a very powerful trend, and a powerful carrier. Those are the 3. Make it, set it up, put the energy on something, turn your computer off, that's it. End of story. And if you want to dissolve that, if you want to discreate that, you just go back to the program and discreate the program, and that'll take care of it. So you have that program. As long as you have that program, you're saving that program, it'll be saved. And you don't have to have it running on the screen. You don't have to even have a computer. You can have no computers, and it can be saved onto a hard drive. And that'll work fine. You know, USB key, something like that. So I wanted to give you some ideas there how that works so that you know what's possible. If you have a company that has, and this is some of the products that we've energized, it really makes these things smart pills. Now, if you're using trends like magic mushrooms, people won't be hallucinating or getting in over their head. These are buffered to become smart pills. All our stuff is what we call smart pills. We've energized candy, essential oils, clothing, music, video, art. Oh my God, buildings, workspaces, tools, websites, newsletters, important documents. Sent the energy to people when they needed it at certain times. Increase their sports performance, their ability to make presentations, on and on and on. You can increase intuition. This is all what people tell us has happened through using our programs, and we've been at it for a long time. I've been at it since 1968, so it tells you a long time at it. So there's no other system like this that I know about. Now I should tell you too, per industry standard, there's no refunds on software. So here's the thing, call us before you buy, talk to us, get your questions answered, understand how the programs work, and we can help guide you into which is best for you. You might find that you think you want this, but as we talk, you might find, and we might be able to guide you over to another form that might be less expensive, more result for you, easier to work with. Really depends on what you want. And so we really like to know your goals and your intentions. That's important to us. And we like to have people that are really happy. One dissatisfied customer, it takes the weight, is in weight-wise what 100 satisfied customers are. I mean, it's just best to get people so their goals really turn out. It's the easiest thing to do. And we really strive for that. And so that should let you know there. Anything else I want to tell you here? That's getting pretty much it. So you're doing action at a distance, and you'll never be dealing with sick people or going to resonance with sick people again using our system. And that's all the difference in the world with that. And So remember, no videoing, no getting near mirrors. Don't attempt to copy the stuff. You'll have nothing but problems. Join our blog on our website. And there's plenty of apps there for you and books that are free downloadable showing our research line over the last 18 years. There's plenty going on there. You can also visit Coherent Coaching Institute, see what I've been doing before this and paralleling with this. And if you think you might like to become an affiliate, that is something that I think you could do well with. So please contact us, iblissnow.com, 415-883-7198. And give us a call and talk with us. We're really looking forward to that. I really appreciate you watching. It's been delightful to be able to make these presentations, and I've learned so much by all the applications. The kind of researchers that have showed up for this are just amazing. So I just want to thank you. You've made my life and my day. Thank you for watching.